Hey, Wood History Hikers, I'm Dries.
And I'm Jente.
We're in the Montserrat mountain range.
And we're going to conquer this beast with a history hike.
Our hike started off near the Abbey of Santa Maria de Montserrat. It was founded somewhere in the early 11th century by Oliba, who is known as one of the spiritual founders of Catalonia. Sadly, during the Napoleonic Wars, French troops sacked and burned the abbey twice. Afterwards, it was restored and largely rebuilt, giving it a more modern appearance. Because of the many tourists hovering around, we wanted to skip it all together and get going on climbing the mountain.
At 750 meters above sea level, the abbey is already quite high up. Our goal was its highest peak, Sant Jeroni, however, which is 500 meters higher still. There is a funicular train that can get you up into the mountains if you want. That didn't sound like fun to us, so we tested our mettle and saved some money by climbing up there using our own 2 feet. And that meant climbing stairs. A lot of stairs.
The mountain range is home to many different hermitages. In fact, the abbey itself started out that way. They come in all sizes and shapes and have been used by monks for centuries. They come out here searching for a contemplative and eremitic life. These days, 2 hermitages are actually still being used. On our hike, we came across a few. These are the ruined remains of the Ermita de Santa Ana, built at the end of the 15th century. At the other side of the fence, archaeological research is underway.
Montserrat literally translates from Catalan to serrated mountain. It was named as such because from a large distance it looks like a serrated saw blade sticking up out of the ground. As we got out of the valley and walked in the middle of these rocky peaks, we really grasped the name. One of the many scenic viewpoints made for a great lunch spot.
Just before we began our final ascent onto the peak of Sant Jeroni, we came across the hermitage with the same name. The initial construction date is unknown, but it was rebuilt several times during and after the 16th century. During the 19th and 20th century, it was even transformed into a restaurant at one point, with donkeys needing to bring up supplies every day. It was customary to rent a shotgun at the restaurant and go up to the peak to fire it and hear the echoes. The modern era was wild, to say the least. 2,000 meters. Almost at the top.
"100 meters of altitude still separates the Hermitage from the peak, which meant
What do you know, more stairs.
But before long, we made it to 1,236 meters.
Okay, now who wants to see us get down? We were only around halfway through our hike, and there were plenty of beautiful sights to see and stories to tell. The path began by descending back to the Hermitage and to our lunch spot, from where we could follow the other side of the valley to return to the Abbey.
On top of the Sant Geroni, we actually met a fellow YouTuber. He runs the channel Soulful Journeys and has been all over the world, it seems. We'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in seeing his travels.
Near the funicular station of Sant Juan, a beautiful panorama unfolds on all sides. Apparently, if you're lucky, you can see as far as the Balearic Islands from here. We were quite satisfied with seeing the sprawl of Barcelona in the distance.
On our descent back down to the abbey, we passed by the chapel of Saint Michael. According to legend, it was built on the site of an old Roman temple to Venus. The chapel was destroyed during the Napoleonic Wars and rebuilt around 1870. Not long after, we could hear bells ringing in the distance as we caught sight of the monastery again. It was the end of a tiresome yet fulfilling hike.
The bells signal the end of our hike. Thank you for joining us.
And I have a question for you. If there is 6 hermitages on one mountain, are you still a hermit?
That's a good question. Each has their own rocky mountain.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
See you next time. Thank you so much for watching.
And like, comment, subscribe and all that good YouTube stuff if you want to see more of these kind of crazy hikes.
Bye.